Hey YouTube, Joe Boy here. So today I have an absolutely awesome theory for y'all. But this is not my theory. This is going to be a theory from the user Theo Rye from Oro Jackson. And so the main reason that I'm doing this theory is because he asked me to. But in general, there's a lot of really scummy people in the One Piece YouTube community. Now these aren't the big names that you know, but the small channels who are text only that you've never heard of up until recently, who take theories posted on the forums and then copy them word for word and put them into videos, but don't properly address the credit of who actually made the theory. And so this happened to Theo Rye, and so I think it's necessary to do this theory and present it so that people know exactly who made it and where it came from. Because this theory, honestly guys, is mind-blowing. But as a general bit of advice, I recommend to you guys to read the description boxes for all of the One Piece theory channels that you are subscribed to. And in general, try to get to know the people that you are subscribed to in the theory community. I can't emphasize this enough. There's a lot of people who just don't know where people get their theories. And if someone makes theories by stealing other people's content without asking permission, I don't think that this should be a behavior that we condone as a society. Especially if you're taking someone's words exactly as they wrote them. But enough of this. Now let's talk about Sanji's hidden cosmic powers. In an early SBS, Oda was questioned about the purpose of Sanji's defining swirly eyebrows. And his response is far more telling than it seems, and it may just now be nearing its open revelation in the series with the events between Germa 66, Sanji, and the Straw Hats. As a matter of fact, it may provide a stellar clue to possibly reveal the secret of Sanji's ability that has stumped One Piece readers since his legs first burst into flames during the Enies Lobby arc. So here's the SBS. The reader, why does Sanji's eyebrows curl up at the end? Please give a real answer. And here's Oda's response. Hey, you sit right there. Now listen. Everyone lives in circles. The sun, the moon, and the earth all spin around. And if the earth suddenly stopped spinning, it would be a disaster. Tidal waves everywhere. Now remember that Sanji's eyebrows channels that circular energy. Reflect upon this. You may go. As the community of theorists clearly know, and there's been a lot that have touched on this subject, Oda left his readers reflecting and speculating for hundreds of chapters as to what this meant. What the hell does this mean? And Oda has only added fuel to these discussions about what this meant with further reveals of interesting cover pages and cover panels, which also are interestingly associated with the cosmos or space and Sanji. One of these cover panels came with chapter 533, where the focus is unusually centered on the UFO search Sanji and his friend are carrying out. Another interesting fact is that when Sanji was young, he joined a restaurant ship called the Orbit. And then lastly, as I learned from Raizo the theorist, Oda has already drawn Sanji as a UFO himself in volume 47 of One Piece. So all these ideas led people to the theory that it's possible Sanji was some kind of alien. The space theme with Sanji is surprisingly strong, but as we're going forward in the story, it seems less and less likely that Sanji has some sort of extraterrestrial origins. We can see that he is a human from Earth created through technology in some way by Judge Vinsmoke. So it seems really unlikely that he is in fact really an alien, but then we would still need to explain why he has this space theme. And so this is where Theo Rye's real main theory comes into play, which he says that when contemplating the reason Oda would choose to have Sanji's eyebrows swirl clockwise instead of the common trend of counterclockwise of his other siblings, he suddenly remembered a fact that seems to connect all of the clues mentioned so far. Most planets in our solar system have counterclockwise rotation, but one key planet has a unique clockwise or retrograde rotation: Venus. Venus, if you don't know, is a virtual hell. It is the hottest planet in our solar system, even though it isn't the one closest to the sun. That's Mercury. Venus is so hot, even lead metal will melt on its surface. Furthermore, a thick smoke-like atmosphere surrounds the planet, which, as a side note, adds to the global warming effect of Venus, which is why it is so hot. Lastly, Venus is named for the ancient Roman mythological goddess of love. This is a perfect trifecta for our fire-producing, cigarette-smoking love cook. And then as a side note, in chapter 124, there was a very interesting cover page, which you can see in the background right now. And so, what's interesting is that Venus even loosely connects to this cover page. A lot of people have been speculating as to what it could mean, but you'll notice the numbers 1830 on this briefcase. And what's interesting about this is that in 1830, Venus was in conjunction with the sun. And then also a famous sculpture of the goddess Venus was made. Perhaps this is some sort of Easter egg to give us another clue to Sanji in some way, perhaps being related to Venus. So we've seen the Vinsmoke involved in cloning, genetic modification, technological enhancements, advanced medicine, etc. So attempting to utilize cosmic, quote-unquote, space powers for one of their princes would befit their obvious science focus. It would also connect to Oda's statement in the SBS that Sanji's eyebrows channeled the same energy as those in the celestial bodies. However, this could only work if the other siblings fit the pattern. So what am I saying here? Well, each of the main fields of science could have been referenced with the Vinsmoke Royals, specifically the Vinsmoke Royal children. We have Poison Pink Reiju, and she's already revealed to have some sort of biology connections with hints of a butterfly/moth ability. Sparking Red Ichiji could easily have some sort of chemistry theme, utilizing the elements, chemical reactions, and even radioactivity. Electric Blue Niji clearly has power stemming from electric magnetic forces of physics. So I think you're starting to see the trend form. So now let's go into Winch Green Yanji, which is a very strange epithet, but could be explained if it's related to an engineering theme with technology mechanical powers being used. So with all these connections seemingly being very persuasive, then it would make sense for Sanji to also have a theme, and this theme could very well be astronomy, or the study of space, biology, chemistry, physics, engineering, and astronomy. And so here's a really interesting speculation that Theorai made. He says that each of the main fields of science are easily represented by animals and plants that may have been used in the genetic modification of the 4 successful siblings, excluding Sanji, who was not successful. For example, the obvious poisonous venomous animals, creatures that use chemical warfare like the bombardier beetle, electricity generating knifefish, etc. All of these animals can be used to potentially add genetics to these siblings to give them their thematic powers. The obvious exception would be Yanji, which in this case, if this theory is true, he would have an engineering theme, which would not be related specifically to genetics, perhaps making Yanji some sort of cyborg, or just a user of really complex, highly advanced technology. But if you're thinking about a space theme, the one that it's supposed in this theory that Sanji has, which animal or plant could provide their genetics in order to give Sanji some sort of power or ability? If you fail to come up with an answer, you are not alone. There's really no spaced theme animal. There's really no space powers. So it's definitely possible that with the lack of a direct, organic, earthbound creature to in some way give Sanji a space theme, Judge Vinsmoke decided to overcome this gap with his own knowledge of space. The technology used to manipulate the Vinsmoke siblings has been revealed as the same technology used to create Smile, which is the lineage factor or DNA. Now, that possibly connects these swirly patterns on devil fruits to their curly eyebrows. This is something that I talked about in a theory that is actually no longer on my channel because I got a copyright strike from Shueisha, but I'm getting that taken care of. Regardless, could also be a connection to another major mysterious force of the One Piece world. Venus shares its retrograde rotation with one other planet, Uranus, which by the way also happens to be the name of one of the 3 great ancient weapons. The cosmic energy that may fuel Sanji's quote-unquote limitless potential, as Judge Vinsmoke claimed his children possessed in chapter 840, could also be linked to that ultimate power. Is it possible that Judge could have been dangerously close to unraveling the mysteries of one of the ancient weapons? If so, do the Strats now already possess a connection to all 3? Just some food for thought to think about. But yeah guys, as I stated, this is a theory made by Theo Rai of Oro Jackson. I will include a link to his theory post in the description below, and I would appreciate it if you gave him some love for his hard work. Now, do I actually believe this theory? I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that I believe that it will be true, but I think that some of the connections, the way that he pieced together the story, connecting the space theme of Sanji with the technological theme of the Vinsmokes, is just really smart. The only real hole for this theory, as I can see it, is that while Sanji might have a space theme that's different from the rest of the Vinsmoke children, all of the Vinsmoke children have swirly eyebrows, regardless of whether it's counterclockwise or retrograde spinning motion. And so from that perspective, even though Sanji's eyebrows are different, they're all pretty much the same, so that would make them all have sort of space themes, and not just specific to Sanji, which doesn't fit 100% in the context of what Theo Rai is trying to describe. But the fact that we've made it this far, and that is the only hole that I can see in the theory, you have to give him accolades for such a great job. So I hope you guys enjoyed this theory, and if you did, I'd appreciate it if you left a like. And then obviously comment your thoughts if you agree or if you disagree, if you just have something that you want to say. Let me know. And as always, dudes, have a wonderful day.